Okay. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Sharifah. First of all, I would like to introduce ourselves. So my name is Anis Raihana, and this is my partner, Alia Shuhada, and we are a student from KPM Indrama Kota. So before we start with our interview session, can you please introduce yourself first?
Okay, hi Anis and Alia. I'm Sharifah Nuraza. Saya Anwar from Putrajaya. I'm currently attached with Ministry of Education under Planning and Research Division. I've been working with the Ministry of Education for about 27 years. So this year is my 27th year in the ministry.
Okay, thank you for your introduction. So we will first move to the first question for the interview. So the first one is, can you describe how does it feel to be one of the women with a high position?
Actually, how do you define high? But high, at the moment, I'm leading quite a big unit. I'm the head of Act and Policy unit. Um, and become to be a female becoming a female leader. Actually, it's quite difficult for me to finally be in this position. And of course, the challenges we have to deal with male colleagues. I'm not deal. We have to like we need to be to hold a position, a higher position, we need to have extra knowledge and extra skills as compared to men. Because I'm not sure, maybe because it's the culture in the country at the moment, or maybe it has something to do with our race or religion. But now it has becoming less challenging as compared to previous years. So as a woman leader, and we have male colleagues, male officers under us, the challenge is actually not is somehow similar, because when we deal with officers, even females, we have different with different attitudes, and also male officers with different attitudes. But to being a leader who is a woman leader, there are also pros and also cons. Usually, if we are dealing with officers with opposite sex, usually the relationship is the risk quite easy if we are dealing with men, because naturally, if we are from a different gender, we tend to respect more. Actually, based on my personal experience, dealing with officers with the same gender is more difficult. But being a leader, as a woman leader, the we need to work extra hard to be in the position, but to deal with officers in terms of our daily jobs, it's actually similar. That's
So
okay.
because you're saying that it's quite challenging to be a woman leader, how do you conflict? How do you handle conflicts at your workplace?
Okay, so if it's a conflict, we would not call it conflict. Usually conflict, because we have if we are talking about conflicts, we have professional conflicts and also personal conflicts. So for professional conflicts, usually it's not that difficult, because it's somehow it's almost the same. For professional, it's almost the same. You have to know the knowledge, you have to have the experience, then you can handle people better. But for personal conflicts, usually, like I said before, if we are dealing with uh, friends or people or colleagues with same gender, usually it's more difficult, because if it's opposite gender, you tend to receive better. You tend to understand, or you tend to be more better in relationship with separate different gender. For example, if we are talking to a boss who is a male boss usually will treat female officers better. Usually it's like that, because it's natural. If you are the different gender, it will be different. If it's the same gender, it will be more difficult. So to handle conflicts, professional conflicts, there is no difference between male and female. But for personal, sometimes with the same gender is more difficult.
Okay. So for the next question, do you think is there any differences working at Bumiputra oriented company and other private company?
Okay. To be frank, I have no experience working with private companies, but I do have experience dealing with them, have organized projects with them. So actually, for if we are organizing something in a government agency, we are bound with more restrictions. We have to follow procedures. We have instructions that we need to follow more strict, because especially when it comes to spending money, because for government agencies we need to be more careful, because we are dealing with taxpayers' money. But for private agencies, usually the protocols or the procedures, less red tapes, because they are dealing only with their company's money. So they only have to answer to their bosses. But for government agencies, if we are using people's money, we need to answer to the public. That's why requirements or SOPs or procedures in the government agencies are more strict.
Okay. So in your opinion, how well the communication goes between the colleagues and a woman who is a woman leader?
Communication.
Yes.
Okay. So again, communication, if it's a professional thing, usually it has no difference. If we were to discuss something professional, whether it's with a male or female colleagues, it would be the same. But if it's a personal communication, then it will be different. But usually, for my personal experience, is easier to handle male officers, because they are not they are usually more simple, more straightforward. You just need to tell them what to do. You don't have to explain much. But for female officers, you need to justify a lot of things why we want them to do that, because just so for men it's more straightforward.
So, do you think the peers treat you differently because of the gender?
Of course, that's a definite yes. Because if you're asking me personally, I would prefer a male boss. And then, but if we ask a male officer, they will probably answer they prefer male boss as well. But for me, I have male officers and female officers working under me. So in my personal experience, I feel dealing with male officers more easier compared to women, because women, they have a lot of other things that they consider, and I need to consider other things when I'm dealing with female officers.
Understand? Okay, so the next question is, now it's actually very rare for us to see a female leader with a higher position. And previously you say
Mhm.
that it is more easier for you to work with dealing with male coworkers. So do you feel
Mhm.
respected by your teams and coworkers?
Okay, so in terms of respect, actually, there is also no difference. Both female or male officers will respect female bosses as the same. Actually, respects lies more on the individual attitude. If that person is difficult, they don't practice respect towards bosses. We have male officers doing that, we have female officers doing that. So in terms of respecting female bosses, it has nothing to do with gender. It 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 is closely related to personal attitude. So no problem in terms of respect towards female bosses in terms of gender.
So is there any discrimination towards gender role in your workplace?
uh I would say yes, because usually to hold some position, they would say that position is more suitable for men. I will give you an example. To become a director of Islamic Education Division, they said it needs to be a man, because usually their events will involve uh, uh, events like Maulidur Rasul, or Quran recital, tadarus and tilawah, and those things and events. Usually it will take that will happen at night, which is not so convenient to female, and usually they will have to go to places like to go and see the sultan or the king. And if events, it will need you to shake hands with audience, with ministers, with people from the royal. So because Islamic matters are handled by the palace. In all states, it's under the royalties. So any Islamic matters, usually we will have. It is better to have a male officer as the director, because the nature of the work, it's more suitable with men. But for other divisions, like the curriculum development or the policy development, and even for our technical and vocational division, now the director is female. So for Ministry of Education, only for certain position, but the rest are all equally suitable for both male or female officers.
Okay, so now this question is quite different from other questions. So how do you manage your time between house life? I do believe you is a mother and your
Mm-mm.
career.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I would say now, if for me, because now the children are all grown up. I don't have small children. Only no more school going children. My youngest is in form 2, so I would say if I am younger, I would have problems in arranging my schedule. But now, since they are all have grown up, so I think it's manageable. So I think the point that you are trying to make is, if I am younger, I would have issues in organizing my daily schedule. But to be to hold a position as a leader in the government agencies, you need to have experience working like for more than 20 years. So automatically it will make you we don't have female leaders at the age of less than 35. So usually if you, because you need to have the experience to become a leader, you need to work for like 15 or 20 years or more. So usually it make you be to have your children will be all grown ups already. So it's less challenging. But if you are young, then you become a leader, then I think that will raise some issues in that.
Okay, so the last question. It's actually very rare for us to see a female leader. Especially most female, they are comfortable with their position. So, what actually inspire you to become who you are today?
Ah, actually, I'm the one who set targets. So for me, if you are involved in certain fields, you need to target for the best. So you need to do your best in everything that you venture in. So I've chosen to become one of the officers in the ministry. So my target is after certain years, you need to be to be to improve yourself, to go uh, beyond whatever that makes you comfortable. So after a certain level, if you feel comfortable, you need to challenge yourself. So for me, I like challenges. I'm naturally I like challenges. So after a certain time, if I feel that my job is already saturated, I'm so used to it, I'm so comfortable, that we need to find something that challenge me. So that's why in the ministry I've been in the certain years from educational planning and research. I moved to private education division. Then I also moved to strategic planning and international division, because I think that I need to uh, get more knowledge and skills in order for uh, the top management to see that I have the knowledge, I have the skills, and I know many aspects in the ministry, so that I can be promoted to become higher, to be at a higher position. So my motivation is, if you are doing something, you need to do your best. And once you think that you already comfortable, you need to find more challenges. So that's why that is the thing that usually inspire me. If there are other things that you can explore actually. So if you are for me, comfortable is boring. uh and I I think you all should be uh you all of you should be like that. You need to love challenges, so that you don't have to challenge yourself with anybody else. You just challenge, you just compete with your own self. Challenge yourself. Don't go and bother about how people are getting their promotions, how much they are getting. But the most important thing is for you to challenge yourself, then you will be happier.
So that's the end of our question. It was actually a very great interview session because we learned a lot, especially as female, from your perspective. Your words inspire us. So
That's
thank you
it.
so much, Doctor, for your time.
You're
To be a part.
welcome. Luck, all the best in
Thank
your
you.
study. Hope you get good grades for this project.
Thank you.